Hello, I'm Dr. Lisa Burkhardt Worley along with Renee Rollins and Lane Jordan Burday, and welcome to Pop Talk. We're the program where you never know what topics might pop up. Do you struggle in your relationships, or do you have trouble connecting with God? Perhaps something in your past is creating a block in your life. Well, today's guests on Pop Talk specialize in helping people find freedom. Renee has their introduction.
Thanks, Lisa. Our guests today are Jason and Elizabeth Settle. They are passionate about creating environments for spiritual and relational flourishing. Jason and Elizabeth were pastors in the local church for over 20 years, and this powerhouse couple has founded an organization called SettledCo, where they foster safe spaces for dialogue and development. They have a Settled podcast, a foundation, and they have a conference coming up, which they will be telling us all about. Jason and Elizabeth both have master's degrees. Jason's degree is in organizational leadership, and Elizabeth has a master's in educational administration. They love to consult leaders and organizations towards healthy and motivated growth. In addition, Elizabeth and Jason have been married for 25 years, and they have 2 adult children, Emily and Ethan. Welcome, Elizabeth and Jason, to Pop Talk. We are so glad that you guys are here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You know, we used to serve in the same church. That was a great thing. And I just want to talk to you a little bit about SettledCo. I want you to tell us a little bit about that. Can you explain the name and also just a little bit about your consulting practice? I don't know much about that, and I know our audience is going to be really interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure, yeah. So SettledCo, obviously it's a play on our last name, settle.
Yes.
But really the way we say it is settled is the message and co is the method. So the message of settled identity, whether you're an individual, whether you're a couple, a group, or an organization, we all desire to have a settled identity. It's what you live from, it's what you work from, it's what you even behave from. So being able to find a settled identity, what is that God-given identity? And that's the message for SettledCo, settled identity, and co is the method through counseling, consulting, courses, coaching,
I love it.
Conferences, coffee.
Cool.
I mean, so many CEO words.
So
Coffee,
many, endless opportunities.
Endless cohorts, yeah.
Yes.
It's almost
Wow.
like you're being content with your identity, right?
Yes.
You're settled.
Yes.
Yes.
A lot of us aren't.
Right.
Yes. A settled self is a confident self. And we long for that sense of settledness in so many places in our life when there's chaos externally, difficulty. And so how can we live and move from that settled
In this world right now. I think that is such a need. And I'm so excited that you guys have really captured that idea that so many people actually don't know they're searching for.
Right.
Right?
Right.
They want to know who they are.
Yes.
Right. That's right.
Well, I am so excited. This is my first time to meet y'all. And what an inspirational concept to help people.
Thank you.
I'm very impressed, and I'm very excited about your conference coming up. And we know you have a heart to help people find freedom. Can you first of all define what freedom is in someone's life, and what are we trying to be free from?
Yeah.
That's a great question. You want to go or me?
Yeah, we often will say that freedom is the ability to receive and give love uninhibited. I think about this when I watch someone dance. I'm not much of a dancer, but when I watch,
But we're going to ask you to dance.
Yes.
I love watching someone dance, and I can almost feel it. I can kind of move with them.
Me
in
too,
my
like
mind.
the ice skaters in the Olympics.
love
I feel like I'm out on the ice with them.
Yeah.
I feel that in relationships too. Like there's a clunkiness about the way I dance, but to watch someone dance freely, I mean, there's a longing in my heart for that kind of expression. And I think that's often so true in our relationships too. So freedom often will begin in something clunky, like something's not working, my relationships aren't working, I feel
Right.
stuck, I feel in bondage, I'm disappointed, whatever that
Right.
clunkiness is, that inhibition. But there's this longing for freedom in relationships in particular. And so,
Yeah.
freedom is the ability to receive and give love uninhibited. What would that be like?
We also say too that freedom is the realization of you being a child of God and living from that reality. And speaking of somebody who has no inhibition, children, they just go and do and play, and they're just fun, and they have no care of what people think about them. And we're called to be children of God and be childlike, to engage in God's kingdom. So there is this inhibition that we're called to not have, and just being the reality of who we already are in Him.
There's so many people who walk around with chains, right? They're not free, and
Right.
and you know it because they're closed off. They're not warm. I always think they've been through something, and they just don't want to
Right.
open up to anyone or be friendly because they're afraid of getting hurt again.
Well, and we don't want pain. I don't want to suffer.
No.
And I don't like it when I feel afraid or I feel hurt.
Right.
And so we do put up those walls. It's our human condition. And we edit and we build these walls over time. And often there comes a day when it just doesn't work anymore. Whatever that wall was doing to help protect me, at some point, it's now unhelpful. And so we begin to seek for freedom. We begin to seek for answers. And it's a longing, I think, in every heart to genuinely have that kind of freedom.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
You spoke at a conference that our mutual church had a few years ago, and I remember I was going because I had to check the box off, for serving, and I thought I had freedom. I thought I'd gotten past all the things that happened in my childhood, but you touched me so much with your story about being a latchkey kid, and the reason why it touched me so much is because I felt like I was emotionally abandoned a lot of my childhood by my mother, and can you tell that story a bit? Because there may be somebody in our audience whose parent might have disappointed them, who wasn't there for them, or maybe there was a divorce situation and they were away. And so can you talk about that story and what the Lord showed you?
Yeah, honestly, we do tend to, I guess, build up those bondages or experience that difficulty in childhood. So my parents were entrepreneurs, so worked really hard, very involved in their businesses. I ended up home, after school alone a lot. Loneliness was really the feeling that I think was most pervasive. When I look back in my childhood, I just felt lonely. I felt like an outcast. I didn't quite know how to be a friend. And all of those feelings came with me into adulthood. And I'm super functioning. I'm really good at my work. In fact, that was how I compromised, or that was how I compensated, is I worked really hard. I was a great student. A+, gold star. That gave me a lot of affirmation.
somebody I know.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, gave me affirmation, but there was still a tremendous loneliness in my heart. And I asked the Lord one day, actually prompted by someone who coached me in the way that we coach so many now, someone who counseled me in the way that we counsel so many now. But they had me ask the Lord, when did this start? When did this deep loneliness start?
Wow.
And anything that we're experiencing, whether it's an emotional overwhelm, whether it's a memory that seems to be plaguing us, whether it's some kind of life pattern, some kind of difficulty that either we're seeing in others' responses toward us or that we're exhibiting toward others, it started somewhere.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And God was there, and He's here today to reveal that and to bring healing. But that was,
But there's another part to this you're not telling where you realized you had a friend.
yes. So
Yeah.
it started.
I'm going to take you there.
She's going there, folks.
It started, that loneliness started in an era when I was 7 or 8 years old. And I had a memory instantly when I asked the question of the Lord, when did this start? I was playing in a little fort in the back of my parents' business where I would often set up dolls. I had blankets in there. It was a cozy little closet-sized fort. And I was in this memory, taken back to a moment, playing in this fort with my imaginary friend, Bobby.
Oh,
Bobby. I had not thought about Bobby
Wow.
for years. But here I was in my memory playing with Bobby as a 7-year-old, and I would take Bobby with me everywhere. I remember buckling Bobby into the backseat of the car when I was little. I mean, Bobby was my pal. And so here I had this warm wash of a memory being with Bobby, and I asked the Lord the question, what lie did I believe in this era, right? What lie did I begin to believe? And for me, it was that I'm not a good friend and that people don't want to be with me. That was the lie that I began to believe as a little 7-year-old.
right.
And so often the work that we do this at our conferences. We'll hold space for people to do this in a room together, or like I said, with coaching or counseling. Just hold space for people to ask these questions of the Lord, wait for a response. And so then it was time to make an exchange. Okay, Lord, I see the lie. I can see that I've believed this over the years. What is the truth? What is the truth? And it's so easy to just be like, okay, I'm going to replace the lie with the truth. So I'm a good friend and people like me. But that's a little, it's kind of a pat answer. So I just quieted myself. Lord, what is the truth? And in an instant, I recognized. He said, Elizabeth, I am Bobby.
I know, I just want to cry when I hear that.
I am Bobby.
Oh, he was with you when you were little.
He
that's
has
what
always
got me.
been my
It gets me
friend.
now.
Go to commercial.
Yeah, I know it got, and the reason why that got me is I used to have an imaginary friend when I was playing, a little girl like you, just playing by myself,
That's
out in the
powerful.
backyard.
Yeah.
And I thought, could it have been Jesus?
Yeah.
Could Jesus?
What did that make you feel
That's
like
amazing.
when you recognized that?
Well, I still feel that wash of gratitude, that deep sense of first, wow, like it was so unexpected, that revelation. Because like I said, I was sort of like, I'm a good friend and people like me. That's as much as I had when I was thinking about what the truth was.
Right.
Which is why these moments are so powerful in holding space for one another.
Yes.
We do need community, and we need sometimes in these tender places where our heart is hurt, we need some help kind of discerning what is true and real. So it was this wash
Yes.
of revelation. It didn't come from me. I did not make that up.
Right.
I knew that I
Oh,
knew,
it was the
and
Holy
it was so
Spirit
deeply
in
personal.
you. Yeah.
But the big message, the message that was deposited in me that now I can put into words. But honestly, when we're dealing with these kinds of freedoms,
Yeah.
it's deep in our belief system. So it's more about what we feel and how we perceive the world, and it's like a picture will shift in our heart, and then we kind of then we begin to live from this new, more whole picture.
Yes.
So the picture was, God was my first friend. He was my friend first, and because he's my friend, I can be a friend. And from there, I can be a friend to others.
Wow.
And isn't that how it always works? His love comes to us.
Right.
Yes.
And that's how we can even respond in love to him.
Right.
Yes.
And in receiving the love for ourselves, we can turn around and love others. And that's how everything in the kingdom works. But how do we become free? It's receiving and giving love uninhibited, or in this case, receiving and giving
Oh,
friendship.
that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I hope people are listening
I
that are
know.
watching this.
And they're all thinking,
Healing.
Jesus was with me when I was little, I had
Exactly.
a friend too.
Exactly.
People are probably thinking that right now.
I just think that you guys, I just want to speak blessing over your conference that's coming up too, because this is real change for anybody that may be watching this show right now. What you're listening to, this is what's happening at these conferences.
Right.
This is the anointing that is on this couple from the Lord. So, I mean, I love it. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
So
Great.
you guys just want to, Jason, I'll give you this question, because
Sure.
sometimes in a way we react to things and it indicates our past wounds, doesn't it?
It can. Yeah.
So when do you feel like a person is like, okay, I need help? Like, what do you feel like when you need to know, okay, hold on, the way I'm reacting, I think I need help in this area.
Yeah, there's a saying that I love that goes along with that. It says, when the pain of staying the same supersedes the pain of change, then change is inevitable. When it hurts enough to stay the same, then you'll want to change. Otherwise, you'll stay the same.
That's good.
So,
Oh, that's amazing. Like if you're carrying bitterness.
Yeah.
Bitterness hurts.
right.
Or
'cause
anger. I
People,
know.
if they don't want to
I don't
change,
want it.
I can't twist their arm to change if they don't want to change because they've been given that dominion to make that choice. So I think when they have enough, like when enough's enough, right, they keep, like you said, with, I've got this facade or I've got this self-defense mechanism that I thought was working for a season. Maybe it did work.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't. And now I need change, right? So you kind of
Yes.
come to the end of yourself. And that's when I feel is when we meet them with counseling or consulting or coaching or what have you. So that's what I see. And oftentimes people, when they do hit that wall or they do find these self-defense mechanisms and things, it is because of child wounds and also because of bad definitions. We tend to find bondage in defining things poorly sometimes. And that could be a reframing that you need even in counseling, just to take a thing about maybe who God is or how God operates or who even you are and just taking a minute to reframe. There was no wound involved, just a bad definition of how you see it.
That's good. And
Well,
that's so
just
true.
as you
Yeah.
mentioned that some people won't change,
Mm-hmm.
they're getting ready to that. So what are some of the reasons why people cannot be joyful and embrace life? You're offering them a way out. And what have you seen, and what is the answer for living fully free? Which is a hard question.
What is
Hey,
the answer?
that might be the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Well, I have this magic pill that you take for
Don't you
$19.99. I
wish?
could tell you this
Freedom
magic
pill.
pill. Yes, this freedom pill.
I wish there was.
Yes, there's not. Joy is a big emotion. And Brene Brown even says that joy is probably one of the more vulnerable emotions to express. And to be joyful. Think about that child that we mentioned a minute ago who's so joyful and playful and fun and just out there and being his or herself. And I feel that, I think about this. Whenever you mention joy, I go right to scriptures like Zephaniah 3:17, where it says God dances over his children.
Sings over us.
Right, he sings over us.
Oh.
And so when we think about that, alongside what the actual word confession means, which means to say the same thing that God is saying, right? Or even to do what God is doing, how often do we sing and dance over ourselves? How often are we that excited about who we are? And I believe that we're invited to match God in that, to not just let him dance by himself, but to dance with him over how awesome we are as people, and the joy comes from that.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I'll try that and see what my husband does.
Let's do it.
Hey,
Let's all
I'm
dance
great.
together.
What do you think?
I'm sensing a theme here. There's a
I'm
dancing.
getting really nervous. that We might actually.
There's going to be a dance party happening soon.
Right after the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great strategy. I think I'm going to have to try that.
There
at
you
home.
go.
Yeah. You two help people find their true identity a lot. And we talked about that at the beginning of the show. So what are some of the steps you take someone through to help them just discover their identity and who they really are?
Yeah, I do believe that, God has in Christ made us entirely new.
Right.
Yes.
And his delight is to introduce us to the person he's made us to be in him. We often will define sanctification as the process of discarding who we thought we were on the way to discovering who we already are in Christ.
That's good.
And I
Write
do
that
feel
down.
like,
Yep.
yeah, I do feel like we will, sort of slough off old identities, maybe masks or costumes that we've put on over the years in a way to fit in or feel like, we'll try some things on to see if it feels authentic to us, or maybe even wear a costume in order to hide or feel safe. And so much of it is becoming aware in the way that Jason was talking about, that God delights in the truth of who we actually are. And we do too once we see ourselves more clearly in him.
Yeah.
But, Jesus calls it dying to self. The thing is that the self that we have put on, the illusory self, the false self, the mask of self, it's what we know So that familiar self is really hard to release, because like a baby brings a toddler blanket around everywhere it goes.
The whoopee.
Right, because it's like it's an image of security and comfort and safety.
Don't take my whoopee.
Right.
It's like I think of Linus.
Yeah, totally. And to answer the question before about change and why maybe people don't change, because it's scary to change. You're so used to being the person that you've been all these years. To let that person go can be frightening, even though it's for your good.
And he calls it a death. And it really is. It's like dying to that self that, as sanctification promises, as a process, we do release it, but it's in order to reveal the more true thing.
And I think to add to that too, because you mentioned the word becoming, and we do become who God's called us to be. But sometimes if we're not careful, we can see the becoming the person out here. Like Jason's going to become who he is out here, and it feels separate from who I am. The person that Jason is in Christ is already in me.
Yes.
And so it's not a matter of becoming that person out there. In order to become anything, we first must behold. So we behold to become. So when God gives us a picture or a reflection of who we are, we behold that, and then we become.
That's good.
And then we always behave from who we believe we
All the
are.
B's.
All the B's.
Behold, become.
I love it.
Behave.
Yes.
I like it.
I'm right on to another B, because you guys have biblical counseling.
Hey.
Okay. Well, I just want to hit on that because I think people need to hear
Right.
how it's different, how it's different from normal counseling. So can y'all speak to that?
For sure, yeah. At a high level, we say it this way: we are professional biblical counselors. We're not licensed therapists. So what that means is we don't diagnose, we don't medicate or take insurance. But outside of that, we walk people through their trauma, their pain, their marriage situations, their church hurt. There's unfortunately plenty of that out there. Spiritual moments of crises and crossroads. I mean, there's so many things that we can counsel to. But the key notes is we don't diagnose, we don't medicate or take insurance.
Yeah.
But people need what you're offering.
Oh,
That's right.
I
Do
am
they?
so excited that what you offer is out there, because we all have gone through hard things. I went through a horrible thing in my life many years ago, but I wish I had had someone to walk me through it, which y'all do now. I know you have a Settle podcast. I love that you use your last name for that.
We're ringing that name out for all it's
That's
worth.
right.
Yeah,
I
we are.
would. It just because you're
What's their name again? Oh, yeah.
Settle.
Yeah, I love it. And then SettledCo for company. But can you share some of the topics that you have on your podcast?
For sure, yeah. We've done things like family of origin. We talk about that in regards to as we all come from dysfunctional families.
Yes.
Right? That's safe
Yes,
to say. Newsflash.
We have that in common here on this set.
That's right. We're all dysfunctional.
Yes.
But as kids, we're wet cement poured into a family framework. And as a kid, you have no control over how that framework of a family frames you.
Right.
And so whenever you come out of that, there's a reframing that is needed. And so we speak to that. We speak to forgiveness and grief. We speak to having a healthy, godly concept, because from the family of origin, you can see God as father, mother, sibling, and friend, not correctly. So God wants to reframe how you see him, so you can see yourself in a healthier way.
Yeah, family really is the face of God for us as young children. And so much of seeing ourselves aright is to see God aright.
Right.
We always hold space, though, for people to hear God for themselves. That's going to be true for anything
Every
that we
podcast,
do. Biblical counseling, our podcast, it's certainly true for the conference, which we actually talk about conferences being like a loading dose of counseling, because you get about 6 sessions, one after another, which is
Yeah, I was
very
going to ask you about the
powerful.
conference.
Yeah, it's very powerful in that regard. And I would definitely encourage anybody who's curious about counseling, who wants to get a feel for the way that we counsel. The conference is an excellent place to begin. And it's also very efficient because you're going to get a lot in a 2-day period. We start on a Thursday night at 7 p.m. to 9. And then on Friday, it's a 9 to 4.
It's coming up.
Yeah, it is.
it's
And you're almost
coming up.
sold out, aren't you?
We are almost sold out.
But there may be room for somebody.
we
If you're
have about
watching, you want to go to the conference.
Will you add a few more chairs?
Yeah,
and you're
we'll
in
make room for
Grapevine,
you.
Texas, right?
Yep, at the Lancaster Theater right there on Main Street,
Yep.
Grapevine, February 26th and 27th.
How do they sign up?
Go to SettledCo.com.
All right.
SettledCo.com.
Thank you guys so much. This has been so enjoyable. Love having you on the show, and you guys are doing great work. And I think it's so important if we help people to find freedom, then it's going to be a better world, and people are going to, we're going to pay it forward, and people are going to represent the Lord well. So thank you guys for being here,
Thanks,
and I'm excited for your conference.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, our guests today were Elizabeth and Jason Settle. You can find them at SettledCo.com. You can spell that SettledCo.com. And don't miss their conference. There are only a few tickets left, February 26th and 27th. And you can sign up for the conference on their website at SettledCo.com.
And we would love for you to reach out to us here at Pearls of Promise Ministries. You can email us at info@pearlsofpromiseministries.com. You can like us on Facebook at Pearls of Promise Ministries. And we'd love for you to follow us on X at Pop Talk Media or on Instagram at pop_ministries. And you can find all our past Pop Talk television shows and our award-winning documentaries on our YouTube channel at Pearls of Promise Ministries.
And thanks to our 27 television and radio platforms and the wonderful production team from Grace Point Media. For all your media needs, go to gracepoint.media.
So that is our program today. Thanks for watching. We're just ordinary girls and one guy over there
Who God turned into pearls. Have a blessed week, everyone.